Welp, it's been 2 weeks and I still haven't shipped the end game yet. I'm Matthew Van Devener and I'm making a game called Taiji. Taiji is a open world adventure puzzle solving game that takes a lot of inspiration from The Witness. If that type of thing sounds interesting to you, then there's a link in the description to find out more. That's right, it's been another 2 weeks. I still haven't finished the end game. That makes this going on 5 months that I've been working on the end game. Which is kind of getting ridiculous, to be honest, but here we are. It is what it is. Actually, I would say I was about 90%, maybe more, done with it a few days ago, and then I sort of ran into a snag from a technical perspective in terms of the way that I was implementing things that led to the game running at sort of sub 30 FPS for the ending, which, needless to say, is not exactly meeting my criteria of finishing strong as far as the game is concerned. So part of me wants to blame Unity for these performance issues simply because I know that if I was doing my own engine, besides the fact that the project probably would have crashed and burned because I would have written the engine and I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to running engines, and that's what happened in my last game. But besides that, I know I would have at least not ran into a performance problem here. But I can't really blame Unity because, Unity's just slow here because it's doing what Unity's designed to do, which is to be a general purpose game engine. Unity doesn't know that what I'm doing is so simple that it could be done in one line of code. It just knows that I'm asking it to do 56,000 collision tests a frame, and it just barfs because it's got to regenerate the octree for all those physics optimizations that it has on the back end and all that. So I can't really blame it, but needless to say, there is that frustration there because I know that what I'm doing shouldn't be slow, but it is slow. So how did it end up slow? Well, the thing is that my initial instincts in terms of what I wanted to do for the ending was that it would probably be too slow if I just implemented everything myself in C# because Unity scripting tends to be slow. It's got all these managed allocations and everything's scattered all over the heap, and you just assume that anytime you want to do something reasonably complex, it's probably going to be slow. So I thought, okay, well, rather than do that, maybe I'll take some of the kind of off-the-shelf solutions that Unity provides. So I tried to do things with particle systems, and I used box colliders and all those nice little packaged up solutions that they give you. Unfortunately, that ended up crashing and burning horribly at a certain point, and so I'm kind of having to backpedal a little and do things the way that I presumed would be slow to begin with. So my presumption there ended up being, at least to some extent, correct in that some of the things that weren't slow with the other method of doing it are now slow. But on the other hand, I'm assuming, I haven't implemented as of this video, but I'm pretty sure that the stuff that was really slow before is... There's a fly buzzing right in front of the lens there, so I'm assuming that it's going to be terrible. Anyway. So on the plus side, the sun has come out. No, on the plus side, I'm assuming that, and I haven't implemented as of the time of this video, but I'm assuming that the stuff that was really slow before shouldn't be a problem at all for this alternate implementation. So things should be all right going forward there. And I do think I know how I can make what is slow right now faster. So in order to try to make it faster, I've been trying to leverage the whole job system in Unity for multi-threading and the burst compiler so that I can get auto SIMD vectorization. And if you don't know what any of that means, that's fine. Point is that I should be able to use some of the Unity feature set in order to make this faster, but I've had to go for a more general purpose thing rather than well, I guess the reality is that stuff like particle systems and box colliders are more general purpose than what I'm doing or what I need, but I'm going for more general purpose tools than that in the sense of I'm basically just programming it myself. But in any case, it should be fine. I think damage control seems to be working. I would say actually already it's fast enough, but I'd like to not tank the frame rate, generally speaking, around below my target, right? Even though like the actual target for my PC is relatively high. Like I like to keep the game running above 200 frames per second on my mid-range desktop. This is partly because I want to be able to put the game on the Switch, or I want to be able to put the game on phones, or I want to be able to put the game on just people's laptops and have it run okay, because people's presumption is that it's a 2D game and it should run fine on anything. But the reality is that, you know, what I'm doing is actually technically rather complex to render, even though it looks like pixel art. So as I mentioned, the in-game area has taken like 5 months now, and part of that earlier this year was me being waylaid by other performance issues that had to do with how I was implementing the puzzles at the time. So that ended up being like kind of one of the weird, very rare cases where the fact that I'm making the game in Unity ended up accidentally making the game better, because it encouraged me to be more creative with the design than I would have been otherwise, right? So that was nice, but this technical problem that I'm running into now really is not one of those nice ones. It's just it's a big waste of time trying to get the thing to run okay, and in the best case scenario, I end up with something that's exactly the same as what I had before. I apologize for looking down, but Peanut is circling around the tripod like a shark, and I'm afraid he's either going to knock it over or at least bump it. Anyway, so that pretty much does it here for this video. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with these, and let's hope that in 2 weeks when I see you, I'm finally done with this freaking end game and I can move on to something else that I can actually show you. Anyway, have a good one, everybody. I'll see you around. I'm thinking about doing another witness analysis video, or finishing up the Sensorium playthrough series this weekend, so that might come out. Maybe both, I don't know. No promises. Anyway, I'll see you around. I guess people do this whole like hand over the lens. This is how everybody ends their videos. They're like, whoosh.